ho there, neighbors. Welcome to Morningstar and Company Incorporated, a Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition actual play live broadcast, featuring a party in a new city with an agenda and a list of tasks in front of them. I am DMF Saint, the Dungeon Master for this campaign. Below me are the wonderful players. Let's take a moment and go through and introduce yourselves and the characters that you are playing in this campaign, starting with Mr. Chum.
Hey, that's me. Greetings from the future. I'll explain that in a second, but I am Chum. I go by Chum Nation around the internet parts. I'm playing Varys Selvarin, the High Elf Warlock, and I am coming to you on location in the wonderful country of South Korea, where it is tomorrow. It is Monday morning here for me. So if you guys need to know anything about what happens today, just shoot me a DM and I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what happens. So that's about it. Joe.
What do I have for lunch tomorrow?
Ooh, I don't know. That's got to be a surprise.
Oh, okay. Well, now I don't know what to pull out of the freezer, and I gotta prepare. Hey, I'm Joe, Nation of Joe, or on places. I'm here playing Bree, the Warforged Rogue Fighter. I am looking forward to figuring out some more information to clarify our situation, and then kind of take those next steps and see where the us is gonna be. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm Akechi. I play Delg, the Stone Shaping Tree Jumping God Praying, used to be feeble-minded, currently widowed, Wayfared wielding. I think that's about it. It's been a while. Nature Cleric. Pretty excited because I am now actually part fighter, and I'm curious if the rain's gonna stop tomorrow. Chum.
No, probably not.
Hi, I'm Osarix Franco. I play Cascade Traylon, the Water Genasi Order of the Scribes Wizard. We're going to be setting out into a new set of tasks, and she will make sure to keep track of all the deliverables. Hey, Chum, any chance you can tell me if I'm going to wake up on time for work tomorrow? Just asking. Just asking.
Nope.
Yeah,
Nope.
okay, that's good. That's pretty good. Yes.
Is that my turn? I think it's my turn. I forgot the order. Hey, that's me. Hi, I'm Ash. I go by Ashton Rapid here on Twitch and over on Twitter. I play Hope, the Furbolg Life Cleric, still currently and will continue to be a Life Cleric. We've got a lot of things going on in this party, trying to frickin' figure out where to go next. Hey, Chum.
Yeah.
Will it ever not be hot in California?
Signs point to no.
Damn it! It's so hot here. Okay, hey, I think Direct is doing things, but hey, it's your turn, buddy.
Hey guys, Direct Red here. Sorry, just dealing with this door over here. I play Benjor, the person that disappears and then reappears and disappears and then finds God and then reappears again. The only thing I'm kind of curious of is like, hey, Chum, do you know if I'm gonna ace the shit out of this second interview tomorrow?
Wow, that is a lot of pressure. But yes, I think it'll be fun.
Hi,
I'm
DMF Saint. I am the Dungeon Master for this campaign. We are using a lot of source material from Dungeons & Dragons 2nd through 5th editions. Currently a lot of Planescape source material. My question for you, Chum, is will I be able to sleep tonight knowing that Delg's passive perception is now 30?
I'm gonna say that's gonna keep you up.
It's gonna keep me up? Yeah, I kind of thought so.
Yeah.
I totally forgot that it's passive 30.
Double my passive perception.
What about that his armor
Double.
class is 25?
Hell yeah.
I mean,
Let's
that's been
fucking
keeping you up
go.
for a while.
It really has. It really, really has. Hey, y'all. When last we left off, I believe we were in the townhouse owned by young Monsieur Tan, who has recently escaped, I guess is the right word, from the Ring of Mind Shielding, previously owned by Cascade. Kylie has wheeled out a giant chalkboard in the common room of this very lavish home that is bigger on the inside than the outside, and has asked you, I believe, what was the question she asked at the end of last session?
Who are the bad guys?
Right. So, who are the bad guys? And she picks up a piece of chalk and prepares to go full Pepe Sylvia.
Yeah. Thought anybody ruling the demi-planes, because Strahd was a bad guy, and there was something there that we needed. So maybe the other demi-planes are holding things as well.
Dorian's a bad guy.
Yep.
Dorian, doesn't he have that that assistant thing with him?
Have what?
Doesn't he have that little guy that like follows him around?
What?
I thought I saw
Have you
him.
seen him with?
Maybe I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Okay, Dorian.
We're gonna bookmark that for now.
Yeah.
Well, I
'cause I have questions.
I believe we can probably sit on that. We do know people that have familiars. There's Max, who has a creature that follows it around. Kylie, could you be more descriptive about the person with a small creature that follows it around while we list the potential people who want to see us dead?
No, I just thought that I thought that I had seen Dorian with I guess familiar is the right word. Yeah, with some sort of familiar creature. I could be wrong. I thought, I don't know. I thought I saw him with one at the courthouse.
And I remember he
yeah?
had a familiar.
Yeah, roll a history check.
All right.
First roll of the night.
18.
18. He had a woman who was quite familiar with him,
Right.
but there was no familiar a la Q, which is the familiar that you were referencing with Max, or Mistral with Varys.
All right. Well, I'll just keep silent. I'm just trying to remember. With that, I mean, you've. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, given his talents, and I'll look at Mistral, it wouldn't be a surprise if he did.
With that being mentioned, what kind of creatures can be familiars for you guys?
It could be a wide range of creatures.
Great. His dad, Angelo,
He's a bad guy.
Aldenak. They're doing some kind of stuff in the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Now, are we just naming off all the bad guys we've run across, or are we trying to identify players?
So
I think we're
yeah,
a lot of that.
I think it's a combination of both. Like we kind of need to figure out. Look, you're all in this game thing you mentioned, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Obviously.
Unfortunately, yes.
So the goal that it seems like you've talked about before is finding a way to play the game yourselves when you yourselves are the pieces. I think some sort of overview, like seeing the board is necessary. And figuring out like which are the pieces and what's the terrain of the board look like, you know?
Well,
And the rule book would be nice too.
I mean, the rule book would be very nice, and we can go over that too. I thought that the biggest target to aim at is who's trying to fuck with us.
the handful of maybe 12 dragons that started it. I don't know if it's fully 12, but I'm pretty sure that that's how many cloak figures came into the arena. And we have a decent idea that the cloak figures are the dragons from the Prime Circle.
Yeah, would you put those under an enemy list, or are they still kind of an unknown?
Although put those under the fucking with us list, because they're the one that's happened all of it.
There are certainly at least one of them that is
Slightly
us.
Yeah, max.
So they're not all bad.
Well, yeah.
They all
It just
have their
depends on how you
agendas,
look at it.
certainly. Yeah.
We're just happen to be on one side's team, I guess, or their winning condition.
And I think when you're talking about beings that powerful, it's the pieces serve their agenda until they don't, and then they're no longer useful, right?
That's an excellent point to make, Varys. It's something that I think we should always keep in mind.
Even though it doesn't help, there was a mention of something that may or may not be more powerful than the dragons entering the game as well. We haven't seen firsthand of any of it, but I remember that being a case of it. I don't know, remember who we were talking to.
That's troublesome, though, considering that the players in this game are already extremely powerful enough to have this game span across multiple planes, and then for something even more powerful to come in and start messing with things, that's scary.
When we say more powerful, and you got the Lady of Pain, maybe that's what that extra entity is. She can hold off all the gods. It's pretty powerful. You think dragons can mess with that? I mean, I don't know which is higher, gods or dragons. Really old dragons, I guess. But either way, Lady of Pain's at least above the gods to some extent.
Right.
I'm sorry, and Kylie kind of like looks around the room a little bit and like out the window. It's like, I'm sorry, am I putting the Lady of Pain's name under the enemies that are fucking with us?
No.
list?
I'm
No.
mentioning
We're just looking
beings
for
that
the
we know.
hierarchy, right?
We're power lands. Who's the most powerful of them all?
It's definitely the Lady of Pain.
That's what I was getting at. That's what I was saying.
Right, but as far as we know, she's not directly involved. She doesn't seem to be interested in it, except being a I don't know if neutral party is the word, but kind of
Well,
providing a place where neutral ground can be established.
right. She has to have something to do with it, though, because if I'm correct, in the court, Dorian invoked the rules,
Yeah,
and they had to advise to the Lady of Pain before they accepted it.
she's the referee.
That's actually probably the best way to put it.
Is she though? Did she really participate, or did she just watch?
Well, that's why we say referee, because she could have denied the request, and it could have just went out the window. But it may or may not have had solid ground, so she, as someone who maybe enforces some of the rules, I don't know about that. I don't know.
I mean, she's really only known to enforce the 3 rules of Sigil.
Right, but how much does people really know about her?
But if I'm sorry, Kylie, but if we're here to document what we know, we should focus on that. I think the Lady of Pain, the reason that she became relevant is because they were in her home, so to speak. If the gods aren't allowed to be here and they came in with their game and started interfering with her day-to-day business, that could be problematic. I think it was more like asking permission to make a mess in her house rather than actually related to the game. But I do think we should focus on what we know. Then we can start asking the questions. Start with a baseline, go from there.
Well, then what we know is going to be focused mainly on Morningstar, Aldenach, and Dorian.
Which is fine, because that is what we know, and that's what we can branch off of, versus jumping into things that we don't know particularly and just guessing. So, on
Aldenach,
that note.
just a quick little tidbit. Can I get just a little something?
Uh,
I haven't been here the whole time. Remember, guys?
That's okay.
Aldenach is a being from the abyss. She was working in tandem with Dorian and Angelo Morningstar. What we do know is that they are working on strange experiments, taking people into an egg-like structure, and whether it's creating monstrosities that can warp through space and time to retrieve people, or like what happened to Delg, or
That's why you guys are making a big deal about the egg. Okay, I get it now.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
it was a not
They're-
great experience.
They're turning machines able to use magic.
Yes,
They're
Yes.
containing magic within machines, kind of like an
constructed
enchantment.
machines, yes.
Like we all signs point as the spell time stop has happened to most of us when we were in the Eldenach's egg by like a press of a button.
I'm sorry, what?
Are you not?
Yeah.
Are you not
So-
aware of time stop?
I am. That's
Okay,
some
so-
pretty powerful shit, though.
Right,
Yes.
and that's happening in the egg. Literally, I watched him press the button, and next thing you know,
Everything was reset.
Cascade was gone,
Yeah.
and we were like literally just kept pressing this button and resetting the room.
Kylie slowly turns back to the chalkboard and underlines Aldenach a few times.
It might not be just her. I think it might just be facilitating. I think it's more Morningstar.
I think Aldenach is the inventor, right? Morningstar is more of a director.
So we know that Aldenach is working with them. We also know that she's working on something with the Morningstars. However, it's not finished. It's not complete. It's not perfected, or at least it wasn't when we were there.
It seemed like they were trying to extract something from Mist.
Teleportation is what we're thinking.
Right.
Right, the ability to plane walk without using the infinite staircase or any physical token.
Does Delg remember correctly? Eldenach being some type of scorpion?
Yeah, so this is a good point for me to cut in. So Fenjor, as your memory starts slowly coming back to you, I mean, you were in the egg when Dorian was fucking with them, and
Yep.
you very much remember, like, as the stories are being told to you and Aldenach's being described, you remember there being a woman, kind of very sleek. Imagine like a modern, a modern day, like, Saks Fifth Avenue, like, very well designed, well tailored clothing, like a white blouse, very low cut, just enough to show a little bit of like inner cleavage, like form fitted jeans, nice shoes, long luxurious hair, just a very like cares a lot about her appearance, also wearing a mask of porcelain. Yes, Delg, you do remember that there were some kind of like, there were moments and there was a shimmering that had happened, and you had seen kind of through the veil of the persona that Aldenok presents, and you did see a giant tail reminiscent of a scorpion.
Yeah. So pretty sure that Aldenok isn't a normal being of some sort. I'm pretty sure I saw her with a tail, maybe like a scorpion. It was quick, and obviously we were pretty far away from seeing it, but there was definitely something there.
Kylie turns around and circles Aldenok. I just don't like her.
Oh, and you could probably circle Morningstar because we're pretty sure he's a lich.
So
Angelo.
about
Okay.
about that though. I hear me out. Hear me out. Well, actually, let's continue. Let's continue naming the enemies and then circle back. I think it would be beneficial if we talk through the bad guys and then talk through the good guys, or at least the guys who are interested in us not dying.
Right.
So, do we have everyone that we see as an enemy? Dorian, Angelo Morningstar, Aldenok, perhaps the cloaked figures or players,
I don't think they're-
Demi-plane of Dread owners, facilitators.
I mean, unless you want to include the people in the Abyss, they sent us there to retrieve the good guys for someone.
Right. I think that would be a good transition to an allies list.
Right, so it was Malcolm Fett, I believe, was the guy that sent us?
No, she was the.
Oh,
Fett is the more powerful being there. The guy, what was his name? Her consort.
Yep.
But I don't have any of my notes with me. So someone else.
He seemed to like you a lot, Cascade. You don't remember who he was?
I'll help because Mr. Chum, Mr. Varys is in a different country and his notes are elsewhere. The name of that person is Mastifal.
That's it. That's the one.
And obviously Malcolm Fett would be there as well, but we haven't had any dealings with her. But Mastifal is.
I mean, they're probably pretty pissed at us. So.
Yeah, the name can go down there, but you know.
I'm not sure they're directly involved.
Am I putting this under enemies, allies,
Yes.
or unknown
Enemies.
allegiance?
I would say unknown allegiance. I think keep in mind something that we need to understand as we move through these places. There are beings that are just going about their business, and perhaps they are connected to our work, but until we know for certain, I don't know if that was an enemy or not. He was certainly an asshole.
I will tell you right now that Malcolm Fett is not an ally to me.
I understand, given your affinity and oath and everything like that, but I
actually think about what we were tasked to do there. She actually might be involved in all this because she wanted us to retrieve Mist for her.
Right.
True,
So
but to list as an enemy seems a bit much.
Well, I mean, people that want to hurt our allies go in that.
We don't know to what extent she wanted them retrieved.
Maybe she wanted to retrieve to do what they're doing and for her benefit.
Yeah,
We don't know that.
No, I agree. I'm agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you can put it under. I'm just not telling you. To me, she's not an ally, but in the sense that we're talking about, unknown is fine.
Unknown is
being
fine.
objective, it's an unknown, but leaning toward the bad side.
Recognizing that she is a force, I think here might be a good place to make some distinctions.
Hold on real fast. Can you give me a history check, Fenjor, please? And
Yes.
Hope, are you okay? Are you bleeding onto your camera?
She said she'd be right
Oh,
back.
okay. It was just all red,
Well,
and I wasn't prepared
While
for it
you're
to be all
rolling
red.
that, I look at Cascade. Are you Do you have the magic prepared to see invisible things by any chance?
13.
I mean, I can detect things.
Check your DMs.
I don't think that is. I have that ability as well, but I'm kind of feeling a bit paranoid that we might be spied on. But we would need to be able to see invisible things to detect that. The magic you're describing that we both can do only works on visible things.
I
Bubbles
mean,
would probably be our best bet.
What's that? Yes.
Bubbles.
Yes, agree. I was just wondering if Cascade could do the other thing, but we could certainly use that.
do you have the name of the particular spell?
See invisibility.
I mean, if we're here, it might be something we might be able to invest in.
We probably should. Given what we're dealing with, the ability to look in on us will be something we would be, we should be worried about.
Especially when
Doesn't Hope have something that does that?
Yes,
that was
that's
the
what he
Bubbles
was talking
reference.
about. Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. We can certainly do that, but it's limited to a few times a day.
Are we putting down where these people reside by any chance? Like that
I
would also
mentioned
be
it, but we don't really know. Like Morningstar has a lot of bases. Obviously, Eldenach's in the Abyss and her egg most of the time, I'm assuming.
That's the thing, though. We said that she's from there. I don't know
Hold
that
on,
that's
gentlemen.
true.
Hold
I think
on.
It's just a base.
Benjor, why do you ask?
I just that name that you guys said before. What is it? Malconthet?
Yes.
Yes.
I do remember Mist and Renault mentioning that name when we were on our way to the Abyss.
And just saying it.
No, I think that we were there to go check out the affiliation between her and Morningstar. If I remember right, it's layer 487.
Is that a guess or?
No, I'm pretty sure it's 487.
Yes, Morningstar has an outpost on layer 487.
Can I ask a layer question about the Abyss?
Scratch that. It was.
Yeah.
I've been corrected. It was. That's 570.
570.
Still
okay.
relevant. He still has a place there.
What layers did we see when we were there?
One.
Okay, that's what I was afraid of.
We talked about all the layers
Yeah.
last session. I did
Yes.
not write them down, but I have
There were
them
two
here.
that were mentioned as Morningstar
487,
bases. Yes.
the lair of the beast and the mansion of the rake, and then
Yep.
layer 570, Chandelavry.
Chandelavry.
Chandelavry, thank you. Mist and Renault were attempting to get there when they were captured, and it was tied to Malconthet. If
Okay.
Mist and Renault were investigating this being's connection to Morningstar, it's possible that they are allies. However, I still think this is an unknown.
But
I agree with that.
If
There's no reason to go.
Morningstar and Malconthet were allies, why would she want us to take prisoners from Morningstar and bring them to her? That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe Morningstar doesn't want to work with Eldenach anymore, so if he has a third party take out the
He's
people
got
that are
plausible deniability, is what you're
Yeah.
saying?
something.
But before we
it
move
could
on
be.
here, the thing that we need to keep in mind is that there are many, many beings at play here. And evil does not necessarily mean enemy in this context. That's something we should, I know that might be difficult. Just because a being is evil or is capable of doing evil things in the scheme of this game,
Right.
it might not mean that they're our enemy.
Yeah,
Well, we
but
learned that lesson from the Sphinxes.
Right.
I did
What do you
anyway.
mean?
Well, they said that we don't necessarily want to stop Morningstar from doing the things that he's
Right.
doing.
Well,
but he's definitely evil.
so if the Sphinx were there to have all the swords brought back to the rightful places, and that is what Morningstar's supposed to do, then correct. We are not supposed to stop someone to do what they want done. Who cares who's doing it? As long as the swords get back, then no, we're not going to stop them. What if the Sphinxes don't care about what happens afterwards? That big portal, what if that's another stage or something else? They don't care. Their point was to make sure the swords get back. So whoever does it, don't stop them, because that's what they want. So with the question you asked, it could have been very vague.
But I don't think his question was very vague.
No, it wasn't.
It was very specific.
What was the
It
question?
How do we stop Angelo Morningstar?
But
His plan, his machinations, his grand master plan.
They had the ability to, divine intent.
Right. And either way, if his grandmaster plan was to win the game and get the swords, and they're put there for the game purpose.
No, our intent. They're able to determine our intent.
Right.
So when Varys asked, his intent was stopping Morningstar for the greater good, for the betterment of peoples, unless I have severely misjudged Varys' character.
That is exactly what I meant, and it shocked me. I was shocked at the answer, because up until that point, everything we knew about the man was that he needed to be stopped. He was terrible and had ill intentions, etc.
We also saw him dead in the future as well. So
That's
if
true.
we stop him now, then he might not be dead.
No, I don't think we're leaping and bounding ahead of ourselves. She'll gesture to Kylie and the board, where we've got half-written lists everywhere.
It's important to note too that Kylie and Dib at this point, her little familiar, are standing there staring at you with hands on hips, and the more observant of you would have noticed that she's been writing things down and then erasing them, and then standing back, and Dib's written something down. No, and she's erasing that as you guys are going back and forth about people, and she's just done. She's tell me when to write something down.
It should be noted too, Cascade has a book in front of her, not her spell book, but a different book, that every once in a while the pages will flip and she'll look down and she's reciting back things, and it's become very clear that Cascade has kept an event log of every day spent with the party.
So the issue is what we're trying to figure out is what is right, wrong, good, bad, for and against us, and we don't know where we're at and what we're doing actually. So how can we know that this person is against us when we don't know? And for example, the intent of the question that he asked, his intent would be something, but if he doesn't know the full intent of what he's asking for, he doesn't know the outcome of the game. Maybe the outcome of the game is for all of everybody to go back to normal and we're good, or it is to wipe the whole world out.
He didn't ask for the intent of the game. Varys asked with the intent of helping, with the intent of doing the right and good thing.
Well,
and
who decides what's right and good? Because you're telling me that the evil people that I cannot...
The gods are not the ones manufacturing the rules here, Delg. You need to remind yourself. We are dealing with things
gods right now.
But it has everything to do with the gods right now.
Hold on a second.
It has everything to.
Delg, perspective. Okay, so when I asked the question, the intent behind it was not who decides what's good. The intent was, from my perspective, what I thought was good.
And that's
what
my
I
point.
think is the right thing to do.
And your perspective
is when they answer the question, that's what the answer was based on.
All right, but if you're looking at a wall, and behind or on the wall is a sheet, but behind the wall is a big open room, and you think that there's a wall there, and you ask a question thinking that your perspective is a wall, and so you get the answer because you thought there's a wall there, and then you pull back the curtain and now there's a whole new room that you know nothing about. You got the answer from your perspective. That's what I'm saying.
But my intention is to preserve the the fabric of our reality. I don't see how that was the wrong intention. That's all. I think Cascade's right. We should move on from this. I want to bring up that we might have gotten some answers had we gone and seen that Draco Lich.
We haven't had
It's
the chance
true.
to yet, though.
Uh,
We haven't been able to. We left to go, and then
Right.
we ended up at the temple, and then when we came out, we got chased off by.
And then we got teleported.
Then we're here.
Yes, I know. I understand that.
Draco Lich?
Yes, Kylie. Yes.
Like, hang on, like a dragon that's also a lich?
Yes, Kylie.
It seeks information.
Dib, I don't know where to put that one.
We
Cascade's
don't know where to put it either.
Cascade's actually gonna get up from where she was curled up in a chair and move over to the whiteboard and hold a hand out for the piece of chalk from Kylie, and just for expediency's sake, I feel like, do you mind?
No.
Thank
Go
you.
for it.
Cascade will take the chalk, and we've got enemies listed with Dorian, Angelo Morningstar, Aldenoct, the players. She'll go over and just pristine handwriting write allies. She'll list Renault, Mist, Artemis, Max, and she'll also put the same thing where it's like cloaked figures players, like so they're on both foe and allies side, because there seems to be some determination there.
Quick question, because it matters for my notes. Are you listing Max separate from players/cloaked ones?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Then she'd also list Eldath. She would put Ozzy and the folks. I'm gonna need a little bit of help from
Ozzy, you could put Sylvanas or
Sylvanas. Yeah.
Sylvanas.
Does anybody remember who the other one was?
That's what I'm trying to remember. I think it's in my notes. Stand by. I think I've moved it over. It's Ozzy and what is his name? Why can't I remember it?
And I'm going to while Cascade's
Raj.
looking this up. Raj. Yep.
Oh shit! But who was Raj? I can't remember.
I'm looking that up. Hang on.
Okay, while it's being looked up, it's important to note. I'm gonna seize player agency for a second, and just point out that while you guys have been having this conversation, that is not heated, but there's definitely like conflicting emotions involved, and you're trying to get this all situated on the board with everybody. Fenjor is kind of just sitting there looking at the board like, okay. He's not really getting caught up much.
Oh yeah, this page that I'm out of character writing down right now.
Right.
Cluster.
And that's what I'm trying to get. We'll try to get bad guys, good guys, unknown, and then start cross-reference, because we keep kind of jumping down the question rabbit hole and like the what if rabbit hole instead of just listing what we know. Let's list what we know or know from our current perspective.
We don't
Let's
know
get
anything.
what we
And Kylie's
Right.
back.
So let's just put,
We know who people are.
what does it mean to know? Like, you know what I mean? Like we could
Okay.
spiral as much
Have
as
you
we
wrote
want.
Have you
Yes.
wrote Rogar's
What
name
does
down
it
on the
mean?
ally list? Right?
No.
Oh fuck. I don't have that
So
on my list.
Rogar,
Oh
He's an
shit.
ally. And
Rogar and
Rognus.
Rognus. Yep. Okay. Perfect. And that's the thing. So that's my point. Is who will help us? Who do we know that is on our side? Who wants to like? We should list Kylie.
Kylie. Can we
So
put Kylie up at the top of that list? Just
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
We're
squeeze
gonna-
I only left spacing. I mean, I suppose she'll go back.
It can be
Right here.
multiple columns. It's okay.
Listen.
I'm sorry.
were we gonna put Hope's brother?
Yes, that was my point, Del. Yes, we should put Hope's brother
Where?
Yeah.
and allies.
Are we sure? And Doug will look at Hope. No offense.
No, I wanted to bring that up too. I was just
I feel like right now it's an unknown. I'm leaning towards ally, but there's just a few things that don't sit right.
We'll put a star, and she'll mark like a question. Like, if we're more certain than not, we'll mark it with an indicator.
I feel like, and again, I'm running down the speculation path here, but the information that we've retrieved from him, from the message that Bree had recorded, it sounded like he knew what was going on. Maybe not as much as we do, but he told me to go home, to just forget everything and go make sure our home was safe.
Right. And why does he not want you to come find him? That's the only issue I have. And
Right.
There's
And
a,
you saw him, and he got taken along with your mother. So
not to go down the rabbit hole, what if he was the one that actually found and took? That's all. That's why I'm saying.
you'll
Anyway.
watch Cascade's face like get like just dark, like that. Like she had not considered that, and her face would get dark.
hi.
Yes.
Can you
Go
put
ahead.
Dib next to me?
Yes.
There. You see?
That's
I don't. So
okay.
if I see
Tib,
the look on Cascade's face, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. It could be that he took to protect.
Again, as you said several times, rabbit hole. I just wanted to make sure that name was put up there.
Well, I think.
And I also want to
think
put out.
for Hope's sake, we need to come to an agreement on this because we know Hope.
Yeah,
We should
our
not-
name should be on the allies list, right?
I
You can-
feel like that's unnecessary administrative overhead at this point.
You can keep the star by his name. You can leave him on that side, but just leave the little star as the we don't know. And
what was his name again? I'm sorry.
Fettle, Fettle.
Do you want to say something else, Fendor? Didn't mean to cut you off.
No, the name Tag was brought up with Mr. Morale a few
Yes.
times.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's one of the good guys as well.
you
don't
know
remember
who Tag
Tag?
is.
I
you know Tag.
I know Tag. Tag just a little foggy, but I remember.
Are there any other allies we'd like to list, or Fendor, anyone you can think of?
Just got to catch up. I've heard the name Max about 15 times.
Okay, when you
Max-
say allies to call upon, you
Oh,
talk
time
about
out. One moment. Let me answer Fendor's question. Max is one of the players, a cloaked figure who's shown up several times throughout our encounters to either throw some of us under the wagon, as it were, ultimately to help. But it seems like this being cares about us getting where we need to go, or at least our safety. We don't understand what end, but I would count her an asset, an ally. Is that jogging something in your mind, or?
Yep, I'm getting now. Yep.
All right, sorry,
Depending-
dog.
depending how the demi-planes work, the were-ravens might be an ally.
if they can leave.
Well, right. Depends on if the curse is actually broken and we can get them out.
Esmeralda.
Out of character, shocked you're putting her on the ally list, but okay.
It wasn't. No, we left on good terms with her, but she might not still be alive. See.
I think. Yeah, no. I think the group we have left on good terms with her.
Is Father Donovich still alive?
He's got a lot of reforming to do.
When you left, he was still alive.
Okay, I had completely
was-
forgotten.
He was
He's also switched gears.
Yeah, he
Yeah, no, he
severely
totally did.
switched gears.
What about
Pledged himself to the
correct me if
Raven
I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, though. Artemis did say,
He's a
Artemis-
part of an organization of some
right,
kind.
but he did say that the players are essentially split, right? Some of them are trying to do quote unquote bad things, and some are trying to do.
I think he was
Just
referring
do
to like
that,
some of
but-
them were like following the rules and some of them just didn't care.
Okay, fair. That's yes, you're right.
But I think
It was phrased like
it's-
that.
I think Cascade's going to kind of like so the game players will be kind of in each group. Definitively, we know some are against us. Definitively, we know some are for us, and the rest are like there's a lot of unknown. The players kind
Yes,
of
okay.
transcend the lists.
Even
I
though
think.
Yeah.
all things we know that he's gone, Artemis needs to be put on the ally list as well.
He
Yes.
is there. Ash, Raj, do you know what his equivalent was with the gods? Were you able to find that?
God, I just wrote down that he was a redhead and a supposed healer. I think that's all I got for him. Because he was like out doing things. And
I don't think we ever got a lot of information on him.
No, because he wasn't really there.
Yeah, he was there for a little
He-
bit. He wanted to help, and then he left. And
He
Ozzy
brought
was there the
Bree
whole time.
back, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Right.
Can I make a religion check to try? Like, we're trying to determine
Yes.
who this is. Can I make a religion check to try and figure out which god Raj was?
Absolutely, please.
Can I as well think?
I would like to. Or can I? Can I assist you with that?
I would love some assistance since you're the one who's literally
Mhm.
assisting me. Let's do 1, 2. A 22. Let's go.
I got a 21.
Hope, what was yours?
Oh, I helped
She
her.
assisted,
helped
so I
Cassie.
rolled
Okay.
at advantage.
Listen, I'm going to respect the request to roll that advantage because it has direct dealings with my deity.
Yeah. Go ahead. I mean, you got a decent amount with your 21, but
Damn. Look, you guys go with your 22s.
so some of the things that have happened have really led the two of you, Cascade and Delg specifically, have led you to believe that the things that are happening to you are less coincidence than it might seem. And when you think back to Raj, and you think back to his kind of lithe, muscular form, and his shock of red hair, you remember the red hair being more golden? Like, it caught light in a way that reflected it as a very kind of like a deep red, almost like a sunset. And you put together that it is probably Lathander, otherwise known as the Morning Lord.
Son of a. Oh, God. Amazing.
Wait a minute. I had a dream. Would I have recognized that then?
He would
Or
have
did I not? Was I,
he would have
I couldn't
obscured
see him?
himself.
Okay.
And it's and they're like the personas that
Oh,
they had
yeah.
put on themselves in that particular inn was definitely like they wanted to make themselves known, but they also didn't. They wanted to put a little distance from who they actually were.
Doug's just gonna
Okay.
like look at the ground and sigh, just like connecting those dots. Like,
I just let it be known out of character. I gave you an opportunity to talk to that motherfucker, and nobody took it.
I have all the regrets.
I definitely would have if I had known who he
Yep.
was.
okay, I didn't trust the guy. All right.
Cascade's going to continue to write on the board. She's going to list Tan under allies. Under unknown.
Kylie
also with the
sighs.
Morning
Kylie
Lord up there, too.
sighs very like exaggeratedly. Like, God, I was wondering when that was gonna happen.
And next to
Or
Raj,
just
she
erase
puts
Raj. Yeah.
she puts Raj / Lathander, and then next to Ozzy, it's Sylvanas. Under unknowns, she's gonna list the Mistress of Cards.
That's the one I wasn't sure out of character you were gonna get. You're gonna put on this list.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. That's me. I'm full disclosure, team. I'm not only flipping through my notes. I'm going through the handouts and Roll20. Like,
No, that's actually a great idea.
I'm doing all the things.
I just cause listen, just cause, and like Kylie is literally like just leaning back, like feet on the table, crossed over, like just kind of relaxing throughout all this. Kylie says, just cause it doesn't seem like y'all are really considering this too much, what about everyone that Dorian had with him? Because you said you had seen them before, right? In that temple kind of place?
With Angelo, yeah. There's some type of shadow warrior. I mean, it's a race of warriors, maybe. I mean, yeah, we could put them down as an enemy, but so you could put wild ravaged bears down as enemies too.
Well, sure. I'm just saying that there's a specific kind of like people.
Employer. I mean,
well, sure, but doesn't that merit being put on the list too? If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm just saying it's worth considering.
Dorian's escorts. She'll put under
shadow warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, under enemies.
You put the Sphinx down as unknown.
Yep. Sorry, let me just in my notes.
They got us thrown in jail.
We're gonna break this down different. There's allies. Here's enemies.
Does Varys, do you still have your egg?
Yes.
What?
So we could put that dragon as an ally then.
I laid
We've
an
got
egg.
leeway.
Didn't I tell you? I'm just kidding.
I forgot about all this.
No, the egg that we got from Master Ball. Like a
For the
bronze
dragon of the
egg.
abyss.
Oh shit!
So that dragon's actually technically an ally right now. We have leverage.
I'm putting that under unknown.
I forgot the name.
Great
though.
idea. Hang on.
It was like Betty or something. I can't remember.
Christine. It was
Yeah.
Christine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yes.
Not true name, Christine.
Right.
Okay. So
You also
on
knew
the
it was
Atlas,
a bronze dragon too.
the
Bronze
squirrel.
dragon, yeah.
You got to put the squirrel down. Just the squirrel. Call him Jake. He's an ally.
Jake the squirrel.
He found the end for us. Jake the squirrel.
He did. What a bro.
what? Cascade. Do I know this? Dang it, Cascade's not a language girl. Gosh dang it. I was gonna have her write something snarky and dwarvish, but she doesn't know it. So she'll sigh and write the squirrel. Okay, so
Hold on. Yeah, never mind.
I'm just gonna I feel like we're doing a good list, but we're gonna stop and we're gonna recap. So
Okay.
enemies. We've got Dorian Morningstar, we've got Angelo, we've got Aldenok. We've got sorry, I'm just rewriting. Players of the game. Here's the thing, for such the hard time that we've been having, that's not very many people.
Just about to say that. The problem is I think that Angelo's influence is spread pretty far.
Mm-hmm.
So like Angelo encompasses a lot.
At this point, okay, no, we're gonna finish the list, and then I'm gonna make some suggestions. Dorian's also, there's Dorian's escort / shadow warriors.
At
Can we-
Arkai, right? Is that what they're
Yeah.
called?
Maybe?
I don't know if you know that.
I don't know that in character you know exactly what they
Yeah,
are.
Oh,
that's
okay.
yeah.
That's fine.
Okay. Allies
I'm sorry, did you put Aldenok on that list?
of
Oh, yeah.
enemies, yes,
Okay.
yes. So Dorian,
I think
Angelo,
you actually missed a
Aldenok,
couple names there towards the end.
players, and then just Dorian's escorts. There's only 5 things listed on the enemies list.
Well,
What do you
I
have,
mean,
Fendor?
Malcontent.
Well, we don't know that
those
she's
are
an
on the
enemy.
unknown
Yeah.
list.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. she's unknown.
I got them mixed up then,
Yeah.
alright.
That's right.
That's why I'm, because I was doing the same thing, and I'm like, shit. So let's just Malconthet's unknown, and I'm gonna put Malconthet / Masterfall.
They're the same person.
There,
No,
Masterfall
no.
works for Malconthet, so we're just gonna lump them together for now. Okay, so enemies, we've got the 5. Are there any others? I know we listed Domain of Dread folks,
Yeah, I don't.
but I think they're
I think
in
that's
closed
more of like-
systems.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're.
So, you mentioned how there's little amount of enemies, and technically the school that Varys and Fenjor and I came from, you could probably list that as an enemy because Angelo Morningstar is held pretty high to that school. So if we were to do something against Angelo Morningstar, it would look very bad upon us unless we had an extreme amount of proof that we are in the right. So when you say the list of enemies is small, it's he's got bases everywhere.
His influence is large, but the named foes, like that's what I'm surprised at. Like his influence is widespread. Yes, Kylie.
Listen, Doug, I get what you're saying, but you know that schools have like donors and contributors.
Yes, I was gonna say that too.
That
Yeah,
are not necessarily indicative of the stance of the school. Like he probably just gave a lot of money, and so they let him talk.
And he used it to recruit us, right?
Yeah.
We're not bad.
Like it's a
We were not
partnership.
taught anything.
I
bad,
understand what
right?
you're saying, but people who take that donation don't want to lose that donation, so they tend to side with that donation until they like oh, that's definitely against us, my bad. And honestly, what honest proof can we bring to the table that he's done something wrong other than our experience? And it's a he said she said, right? Like we don't actually have any proof against this guy that we can't take it up to, I don't know, the jailhouse here and be like, look at Angelo's done this, and this, and here's the proof for it, right?
I don't need proof. I know what he did to us. So,
Right, but your word versus his word is just two words against each other.
I'm not trying to
understand?
take him to court, Delk.
But my point is Doug will just sit back down and just
I understand
stay
what you're
quiet.
saying, but you're trying to apply some sort of law or rule set to this that just doesn't apply. So I mean,
No, I'm applying
I
that
understand what you're
anybody that
saying.
he has influence on is our enemy. That's all I'm implying.
That I don't agree with that. That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine.
Yeah, it's an area for concern.
Hey,
It's an
Kylie.
area for concern.
Yeah.
You having a beat on the city of the factions that control the city. Do you have any bad ones you want to put on here yourself?
Yeah. But honestly, not in this context. Like, there's some shady shit going on in this city. Yeah, I don't think any of them really. I mean, nothing that I know. None of my sources have led me to believe that they have anything to do with this.
All right, cool. Just checking in because you got the beat
Yeah.
on the city, you know.
Hey, listen, I appreciate being considered, since the only job I had was taken away from me.
I mean, if you have input along the way, feel free.
Oh, I will
Okay.
speak up when I need to. Thank you.
So we've got our enemies. We've got the 5. We're gonna leave it that for now. Moving on, we've got allies. Let me see. I'm just getting this sorted. Allies. We have Kylie with a bow to Kylie, and Dib. Let me just add that really quick. And Dib. We have Renault, Mist, Teg, Eldath, Sylvanas, Lathander, Max, Rogar, Rognus, Fettle with a star, Artemis, the Were Ravens, Esmeralda, Tan, and the Squirrel.
Ferris just puts his hand in his head. She says this.
You out of character, you mentioned someone else that you said you're gonna put on the list that you didn't.
Could you please assist me with this?
The organization that Artemis said that he belongs to.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Oh shit. Okay.
And the planewalkers, I'm gonna put unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Because we don't know their affiliation, but we know that they're an entity that might be able to assist. First. Okay. So Artemis's organization. Is there anyone else that I'm missing that I don't recall that we might list as an ally here? From the past, we have a few people from Barovia. Is there anyone else?
I mean, we
Then
can
Jordan.
get hyper specific and just start naming our family members, but I think I've proven that that's not necessarily the case. But anyway, continue.
And then unknown, we have the Mistress of Cards, Malconthet and Mastafall, the Mistress of Pain, Planewalkers Guild,
Lady of Pain.
oh, thank you. Apologies. Lady of Pain, and the Planewalkers Guild, and a bronze dragon egg that we're just carrying around in a bag of holding.
Not the egg, the actual dragon that the egg belongs to is an unknown.
The dragon
Doug
known
wants to
as
start
Christine.
trying
Yeah.
Does this seem comprehensive? Are we missing any organizations?
That is my list, from what you said.
Mm-hmm. Oh yes, the Sphinx. Thank you.
I don't know what we're so big of a worry about then, because our enemies versus our allies is we should be good to go, right?
Now
Except
look
we
at
still
the,
have no idea what's happening.
right. Look at the ally list and point out those that actually know about the game.
A lot of them, I'm guessing.
A lot, but not all of them.
I'm guessing the Planewalkers Guild, Artemis Organization, Artemis, Max, Teg, Mist, Raj, Ozzy. I mean, over 90% of the people on that list know about the game. There's what, 3 or 4 that don't? That's the people from Barovia, which I don't know if we can even count on because
They're
Artemis
stuck
was
there.
from Barovia and they never
He
mentioned
didn't
anything
say
about
he was
Artemis.
from
No,
Barovia.
he's not from
No,
there.
he
He
was
has been
there.
He
He's been there.
left Barovia.
Right, and he killed Strahd, and Strahd came back. So I mean, there's got to be some type of maybe reset of some
Something.
sort.
So should we put Strahd on the enemy list then?
No, we have grown a lot stronger since we've seen him. Strahd is not an issue anymore.
Okay. Just, sorry, copy and pasting this over to another place where I can have for my brain. Okay. So, now all of this being said, I have a proposition for the group. And this is a big deal because this means a lot for where we're going and what we're trying to accomplish. I motion that we move Dorian Morningstar from the enemies list to unknown.
What?
I motion that we move
Good point.
Angelo Morningstar from
we
the
heard what
enemies
you
list
said.
to the unknown.
Explain.
I don't. When we left, well, I mean, there's a lot of reasons, right? Varys, your answer to the question. What if Angelo is a man who is trying to keep reality safe, but is willing to do wrong things to make that happen?
Well, so what I remember when we had the trial by combat, and Dorian was struck down. Somebody looked at Morningstar, and there was
me.
a look on
He
his
felt-
face, right?
It was me.
He
What
was
was
worried
that?
about us.
What
He was
that look?
afraid for us, and he spoke to me and said it was like he was afraid. And in my mind, he said, I know he knows that our history may lead me to be hesitant, to believe him, but that I assume that we are his only hope. His son is still alive, but more dangerous now than ever before, and that we needed to stop him. It's not his fault, and he doesn't want him to die.
Okay, so that right there puts him in the enemy category. Despite the fact that his father doesn't want him to die, I think I know what he means by it's not his fault. If you get what I'm saying.
I don't understand, because what you would say, because I agree with you, I still think he should be the enemy, but Angelo, with the information that Angelo gave to, with the information that he gave Cascade, would put him more towards an unknown to an ally.
Dorian?
I'm not saying
No,
I'm not
Angelo.
Angelo Morningstar.
Oh,
Angelo
right.
Morningstar, the father. I vote to move from enemies to unknown.
Oh, I thought you said Dorian. Move
No,
Dorian.
I might have had a Freudian sleep, but
out-
Angelo.
Out
She
of
did
character,
say
I
Dorian
think the
first.
first time you said it, you did say Dorian, but then you corrected
Yeah,
it to
but I
Angelo.
mean Angelo. Apologies, Angelo.
Okay,
Dorian
okay.
was at the top of the list because he's
Completely
public
different
enemy.
conversation. Then.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
moving Angelo, moving
Ang-
Angelo from enemies to unknown. I'm basing
for
this
that.
on that interaction. I'm basing it on the answer that Varys got from the Sphinx about we shouldn't stop his plan. I'm basing it off of several interactions that we've had with him directly and some of the things that he said.
Would that be including the experiments that they did on me?
At the hands of Dorian and
Not Dorian.
Aldenoct.
No, because
Yes, Cascade's experience was from Dorian.
okay, but I am gonna.
It was
tell you-
overseen by Angelo. I'm with you. I hear you. Angelo was present, and it was done at his behest, seemingly. However, what if Angelo Morningstar is a good man who's trying to do the overall big things, but he's not? There's no limit to what he will do to make good happen. This is why good and evil are not really relevant in this moment. What if he's pushing everyone we've talked about, sorry, let me get into character because that's Sarah. Everyone we've talked to and about has always pointed that Dorian is the enemy. Dorian is the one who is to be feared. He's the one that has no regard for the rules. He's the one that is pushing even to the point that his own father, Angelo, is asking us to stop him. I'm not saying that Angelo Morningstar is a saint. I'm not saying that he actually cares about us. What I'm suggesting is that we do not fully understand this man's motivations. I would even argue he sent you to Barovia for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
And seemingly that road, this man who plays the game 15 steps ahead of everyone else, we are here now in this moment.
See, the only issue I have is we've got a list. You have enemies, you have allies, and you have unknowns. Eventually, the unknowns have to go into one of the two lists.
Yes.
They have to shift.
Yes.
Angelo will never. Angelo,
do they?
unless they're not interfering with the game, right? If they're they're going on.
Listen, this could just be my experience here in Sigil talking, but sometimes people will put themselves into situations like this because they see a profit or they see a benefit, but they're not really on one side or another. They're on their own side.
Right, neutral territory.
I agree, but if they're on their own side, there is a point to where it is either beneficial or not beneficial to your party. So it is an ally or an enemy. Like, yeah, there may not be out to get us, and that's why the unknown could fit Angelo. But in the end, are you willing to go, yes, you're my ally, and you're going to trust Angelo? That's the only reason what it is.
Delk, if given enough empirical evidence that should be true, absolutely.
I think we have to keep the bigger picture of this in mind and what the stakes are, right? The
What are the
bad
stakes?
outcome is the destruction of everything.
Is it?
That's what
Is
we
it-
were told
Yeah.
will eventually
We're-
happen.
The fabric of
told?
reality
Artemis,
is being
Artemis
shred.
told us that. Yes.
It's being shred because of the game that's being played. And
Correct.
that's because they're
Right.
not playing by the rules. Some of the players are not playing by the rules. That's why it's
Right.
being shred. But we don't know the winning condition for these people.
I didn't
so
say anything about winning. I said the end result.
how we know
That is
that's
not
the end
same
result.
of winning is
No,
because we
no, we're-
know the forces are doing the things that will bring the end result about. That's
the
what we're trying to
results.
stop.
There's a confusion. There's a crossing. Varys is
Yes.
talking about the result of the game. Delg, you're talking about the objective of the
Right.
game.
Exactly. We're past that because if people aren't playing by the rules, the objective seems to not matter. Right? They're using the game as a way to do whatever they want, and what they're doing is going to ultimately result in destruction of reality. And if
So-
Angelo Morningstar is trying to stop that, his methods we may not agree with, but that's the right answer.
So that's where we have to make the distinction of what we as a group and as the pieces in this game are attempting to do. Are we solely focusing on doing what we can in order to progress the game in the way that we know is potentially going to make things a little bit better and maybe end it and just get rid of the whole thing? Or are we focusing on those that we can deduce are the ones that are ripping this thing apart? Yeah, I think we need to kind of figure that out.
That's a.
So we have a
I just don't
bunch
know
of
how
different
we
ways
can
that
figure
we can go.
how can we figure stuff out when we don't know
Right.
what we're doing.
You go
You're
down one
absolutely
path,
right, though.
you figure it out. You,
Yeah,
you
And then it so happens that it's the wrong path to go down, and
And you
can't
turn around.
We are going to have to engage one or more of the people on these lists that have more knowledge than we do. There's no doubt about that.
So I think Cascade's gonna kind of move over on the board and write, just in big flowery letters, "What the fuck to do," and underneath that she's going to put, kind of nodding at, like, at this point I think it would be beneficial to list like, perfect, thank you there, GM, but like also like what are our objectives or potential leads. She would put, like, are we seeing the game to the end of its objective, or 2, are we just stopping the players who aren't playing by the rules? She'll list, collecting swords, visiting the Draco Lich,
Right.
kind of. So I think that's our next, is like, so yeah, what the fuck to do? See the game to the end objective. Stop players who cheat. Save Fettle. Save Cascade Mom. Gather swords.
So you're kind of glossing over this verbally. Can you be a little bit clearer for everybody
Mhm.
about the objectives you're writing down?
Right. So
Specifically me for my notes.
Yep, that's fine. Okay, so starting here, Hope, we're still trying to save your brother, correct? My understanding is the situation with the waterfall at your home has been remedied.
I don't know that for sure, but I will, for the time being, assume that it is.
Okay.
But yeah, knowing that our families are now intertwined in the sense that they are not where they should be, that's still an important thing for me, at least.
I completely understand the sentiment. And so just ensuring that they're safe and out of the way of the things. She'll write gathering the swords. I think this ties in with the other objectives, no? With the game. These beings trying to prove who's the most something clever. If we can gather the swords, that might make us... It serves whatever purpose we decide, whether we're actively engaging in the game or trying to stop those who aren't playing by the rules. Yes?
Right. And it may come to the point that we may be forced into either of them. But knowing that we currently have that option, the two options, yeah, that's all I had to say. Words are hard.
Right. We also have the Draco Lich that we could still visit. I think that might be one of the better options for answers, the most immediate. We know where this being is, unlike most other things. What other threads do we have?
We have the all the base camps for Morningstar. I mean, that may follow into a different category, but
No, I think this is the right place for those.
if he wants to keep coming after us, we can potentially
Oh.
stop a little bit from maybe deterring the camps beforehand.
There might be information there as well. We have solve Mist's condition.
Yes.
I may be
What else?
misspeaking, but I feel like I've heard you mention that Renault is having a similar issue.
Yes, they both need help.
I believe so.
Renault is a little bit more straightforward, given my understanding.
I'm a
but-
given out of character reminder. Renault is currently also in a coma.
Yes.
Oh, that's right. I had forgotten about that. Because the poison. God
Mhm.
damn it.
Mm-hmm.
What else do we have? Bree, do you have anything? I know your primary objective.
Any fantastic messages you can relay or anything? Bree?
I think
My
she's
search,
thinking-
Oh, okay.
my search resulted in 0 results.
Okay.
All right. Ultimately, I would like to see Artemis freed, but I don't know if we have any say in that.
Right.
He's gone.
I understand. We have, there's a being that we need to, a person that we need to find out that has answers. When we discovered where the swords were and all their locations, there was someone that Ozzy told us to find. Her name escapes me. Just a second. I need to find her.
Let me see if I remember too.
Actually, this will be faster. Talia. Yes.
Wow.
We need to find. Brilliant. We need to find Talia.
And that's all we know. That was all they said. Just the
We
name.
know that she has one of the swords,
Yes.
or
I
that
was
when
going
we're
to
going
say,
to
yep.
find them, that they'll
Yep.
have a sword.
Right.
So that whatever restrictions exist for the gods do not apply to this person. And I don't think that Ozzy would have sent us to someone who couldn't give us real answers.
They're the ones that are supposed to have Wayfinder in Great Spire, I think, right?
Right. Maybe that's changed a bit, but maybe not. Oh, and that reminds me, I'm gonna go back to the unknown and under players/cloaked guys. I'm adding Heart's Desire player that we saw going down the stairs, as well as the player we met in Sylvanas' inn.
Mm-hmm.
Angry guy who took the sword. I'm putting them under. I mean, I feel pretty positive that angry guy was enemy and guy going to Barovia is enemy, but putting him on unknown. Let's see. Okay. Books as well. We need to collect books. We know about swords.
Do we have to collect books, or was that just another kind of puzzle piece like the swords are?
Perhaps it should be more accurately keep an eye out for books.
Okay.
We know that they're relevant.
We need something else to make the Sphinx bow to us when we come in, so books are the next best option.
Delg, do you recall what made them bow?
The sword and the symbol that we have to use to open the elbow. Whenever that came in, one of them bowed, and then when the sword was present, another one bowed. So there's 2 more Sphinx that need to bow.
When you guys mentioned Max, did you say a description yourself or no?
Yeah, redheaded woman, cloaked.
There's a picture of her in.
I'm getting there.
Yeah, she would have described, or collectively we would have tried to describe her as best we could.
I've seen her in Sigil actually before.
Really?
Yeah, when I was here with Dorian actually. She found me on the streets and helped me out a little bit. I wonder if she's still around here at all. Also, if the DM was here, I would do a history check for Great Spire since you guys just mentioned it.
Okay.
Yeah, Delg and I could probably do that too.
Is that on the plane that you guys are from?
Yes. He's nodding. Go ahead and roll it.
Stand by. I gotta dig through all the things to get
17.
there.
That looks like a nat 20 for
Holy
26.
shit.
19,
God.
17, 26, 19.
Yeah, you all have enough. You remember hearing about the town of Great Spire in at the academy in Eurelia. It is the equivalent of, like, let's say that modern day, you went to school in Chicago, like a big enough town to be the equivalent of Chicago. Great Spire would have been New York City.
Okay.
So you have heard of it, and there is a, like, it is named after a gigantic tower that is in the center of the city. The city's kind of built out around the tower. Delg, specifically, you did a little research on your commencement address speaker, and you would know that Morningstar owns that tower.
Shit. Is that listed as one of the locations that we got?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's where Talia's at.
Right. Oh my god.
Kylie,
it is.
does this
It was one of the base locations of Angelo Morningstar.
does this Max person ring a bell to you at all, Kylie? Is someone that you may have seen in the city at all?
Shifty character walking around the streets in a cloak, talking to other people about shady things. I mean, it could literally be a dozen of my friends.
Cool.
Sorry, the short answer is no. I'm still a little miffed about the chalkboard.
Hope.
Yeah.
Can you send Max a message?
I can try. What should I ask?
I mean,
Say hi.
Pendra says he's seen her here before. Is
Maybe if she's
here
willing to
speak to us?
yep.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. Send a message. Hi, Max. It's Hope. Hi. We're in Sigil. I understand you helped Fendror here. We're trying to put the pieces together. can you meet us?
Very good.
Nice economy of words, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I've listened to Laura Bailey over the last 3 years, you sending, so
Yeah.
like, it's in here.
Except a lot of times she uses it 2 or 3 times in a row.
Yup.
You do get a message back from Max that says, not safe. I'm on my way.
Interesting. Okay. I seem to get a lot of replies from people when I send them messages that I can't talk, or it's silent, or cough twice if you're in trouble. Anyway, she's on her way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Do we maybe have a dragon as our friend? Who knows?
I guess on my way doesn't necessarily mean a good thing.
Yeah. I guess we'll find out.
So is
We
this
just
where we're
wait here then?
is this where we're stopping with
Yeah.
the list here, or because we've got like allies, enemies, and unknown, and we've got a couple I guess next steps we can start focusing on.
I got a question then. You guys have seemed to make a big deal about these 2 swords that myself and Delg are carrying. How many are there?
12.
12 swords.
Yep.
And we know their names and where they are. Let me look at my list.
And
Actually,
who
it might
will-
be in Discord.
Yeah, it's in Discord. We have the where we will find them and who is wielding them.
The name of it, the like cool name of it, and who and where it is. Who has it? Where words again are difficult.
And we have 3 of them, not 2.
You have 3.
I have the one Dorian was wielding in the pit in the bag.
You should look at that because if
Yeah.
I remember correctly, you should look at that, Varys.
If I
Look at
also
the sword.
if I remember carefully, be very very careful with that.
Yes, I don't really want to look at it.
Gotcha. Understood. Never
I
mind.
think-
I misremembered.
It's the mind sword, right? That's the one. Saint? No. Okay. hold
I
on.
thought it was Soul
I guess
Cutter.
I need to look at it. I'll take the sword out.
Oh, that's right. Holy shit. Okay.
I'm not gonna take it out of its
Kinda
sheath.
Just look at the hilt of it.
So you pull out a sword that has no symbol on the hilt, but in all other ways is identical to the other swords you've seen.
I will, if we have time, I'll just spend some time looking at it, trying to identify it. I'm not trying to attune to it. I guess I have to if I want to know anything, don't I? Shit.
It is, so I will tell you that with your experience with Coin Spinner in particular,
Right.
you know that these are sentient artifacts.
Right.
And that attunement is not necessarily the way that these things connect with their wielder. They usually choose who it is and auto-attune
Right.
to you.
Right.
And you do
Okay.
not feel like this is attuned to you.
Right. Okay. But I can't tell which sword it is.
I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like in the finale of season 2,
I think we said what it
we
was.
did identify it.
We did.
Yes.
I just don't remember which
Was
one it
it-
is.
It is
Was it Soul
it's
Cutter
Soul
then?
Cutter, yeah.
It
Yeah,
is Soul
okay.
Cutter.
Okay.
And just as a reminder, there's one thing that didn't happen with the sword. So there's a power that there are powers you don't know about the sword, but you do know that when it's drawn, everyone within a radius of the sword experiences a deep despair and existential dread.
Right. Okay.
So just to recap, because swords have shifted around right now, as we know currently, so Varys has Soul Cutter, Delg has Wayfinder, Ragnus has Wound Healer. Do we have another sword and I'd forgotten about it?
No, that's it.
No.
Okay.
No. My
No.
sword.
Yeah.
You
just-
Oh,
got-
Fenjor has a sword.
Yeah, Fenjor
Sight
is
blinder.
Sightblinder.
Ah.
I
And
thought
we
you said
actually
no.
don't know Ragnar still has Wound Healer. We just...
Correct. It just making some assumptions.
But we do know that that's who had it when we asked the Sphinxes, making that the person that would have it when we find it? I don't know.
Yeah, but see, the issue with that so far is it said that Fenjor had it when we would have seen it next in this City of Shadows, and we have it right in front of us, and we haven't been to the City of Shadows.
Yeah, but Fenjor had it.
Has hang on, has anyone or would anyone have shared any of this part of the puzzle with Kylie? Like
Right
the
now.
whole, these are the swords, this is where we can find them and who will have them.
Oh yeah, I feel like that's a pretty big chunk of the puzzle to just throw at
yeah.
someone whose game is information. Hey
Pretty
Kylie,
sure that's what we're doing right now.
Okay, so
look at
assuming
this cool list.
assuming you've talked to her about it, so she'll look at the list that you've probably from your book Cascade, right? Like would have flipped open to a
Yeah.
list in the book.
Yeah. Mhm.
So I can't help but notice this note that you put with this. So you got Soul Cutter from Dorian in the combat trial, right?
Yes.
But this note on the list that Cascade took, which you have great handwriting, I can tell why you wanted the chalkboard. This note that you took said, when you are ready to acquire the sword, it would be with Dorian Morningstar in Aldenoc's egg.
Yes.
It's the when you're ready to acquire it part that's tripping me, because you have it and you haven't gone back there.
Right. I agree. And just like when you're ready to acquire it, Fenjor would acquire Sightfinder, the City of Shade.
Exactly, and we have it, and Fenjor is here and with it. But correct me if I'm wrong, none of you have been to the City of Shade.
Can I see if I've been to the City of Shade?
Yeah, make a
Have I
history
been there?
check.
We also have Wayfinder, which we were supposed to get from Talia at Great Spire.
16.
Mm-hmm.
16.
So we know. Go ahead.
You don't recognize the name City of Shade. You do, however, like there's something about,
Or maybe how I know how I acquired it? Maybe.
you do not actually, surprisingly.
Okay.
That is one of
This
the
was in
pieces
his-
of.
This was in his things when he got out of prison. Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the memories that is not quite fully restored. I will say that the City of Shadow or City of Shade, there's something about it that like sparks your like reason or your memory, but you can't put it together.
I'd like
I mean,
to...
Artemis told us about the City of Shade, right? It was
He
that
did.
place to the
He
north.
wanted to
yeah.
go there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to point out that this was a question that was asked to the Sphinx with the intent of when we were going to run into him next that we could get him.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay. And how it just so happens to be not fully right because we got him without being in the spot that said so.
But
I'm
you
just
altered,
gonna- I'm
you,
just
you
gonna put
altered
this-
time, Del. You
For me, but not Fenjor,
that
not you.
that That's
set
not
So-
how time works.
So listen. Kylie rolled really well on her roll. Listen. I think that the Wayfinder you have is not the Wayfinder that's listed here.
I understand that.
Yes.
Okay, so that's part
That's-
1. Part 2, I think that the Sphinxes might have been talking to you from a bigger picture perspective. It's possible Fenjor loses the sword. It's possible
Yes.
Varys, you lose Soul Cutter, and the actual answer the Sphinx gave you was, this is the last time you will have to find it. Once
Right.
you get it there, you'll have it.
Correct.
She rolled a 19.
Correct. That we have them now, but again, the intention that we asked the question with was, when will we have them all assembled to return them? They're giving us the final moment in which we will have them, and they will be secured and they will be ours, not
Right.
necessarily just when we will have them. These swords, they move around like nothing I've ever encountered, and I've worked on shipping a lot of different cargo. It's insane. But yes, thank you, Kylie.
Just doing my part.
I mean, it's a good point. Like, I find things that I'm looking for, and then I lose them, and then I find them again, and then I don't lose them again. So I understand where you're coming from.
So listen, let's take a step back here. So we have some pieces on a board, right? We have some allies, we have some enemies, we have some who knows where they are, third party on a undetermined first or second party, whatever. What about the board itself? I know we've talked before about some different areas that Morningstar has under his control. Like, what are the key pieces, spaces on the board? Like, let's assume this isn't chess, right? Like, this isn't a 2-player game on a 2-dimensional board with a set determined amount of pieces. Like, this is a malleable thing.
Oh yes, 3D Chinese checkers. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of.
Well,
It's
I think a little bit too. Morningstar's been playing the game a lot longer than us, so he might have already identified where's important.
well, sure. So
Does that mean the places that he's established himself are the important locations?
They could be. Yeah.
well, okay. So
so-
where's he established himself? Let's start another
Uh,
list. Listen, I don't mean to
yes.
tell you how to do your job or anything, Cascade, but let's start a location list.
She'll hand the chalk back over and
No,
just say,
no, I'm good.
I think that it's time that you take it. And she'll just hand it to her and move back to her chair. She'll curl up and start taking her own notes back in her notebook. Just getting through the allies, like, was the one thing that she was like, we just gotta get through it.
So she kind of tosses the chalk up, and Dib kind of comes over and grabs it, and then is like hanging off the chalkboard and like ready to write down now.
So we know, let's see, 6 different main places where
With
Morningstar
2
has bases.
outposts.
Right. So are there different planes? I don't know. So there's Faerun as a whole, but there's Waterdeep and Arabelle as the 2 places in Faerun where he has locations. The next one is Eurelia, which I think is where Varys and Fenjor and Delg are from. The 2 places there are Turin and Great Spire. So we know that he owns Great Spire now. Does he own Turin? Oh no. Okay. And then there's the land of Terra. And I've been to one place, New York City. That was terrifying. And then Paris as the other place. Next place is Baator. It's Baator, I think. And then there's Avernus and Nessus. I haven't heard good things about those places.
Just really quickly, does Kylie wince again at Nessus?
A little bit.
Okay.
Remind me where Nessus is.
It's in Beator.
Okay, remind me where Beator is.
It's you would also know it as Hell.
Oh, cool. My favorite.
Nessus is the 9th Hell. It's the lowest.
Dope. Okay. Okay, I need to write that down.
And Avernus is the first layer.
Yes. And then there's the Abyss, which is layer 487, or the Lair of the Beast and Mansion of the Rake. And then there's layer 570. There's so many layers. Which is Chandelabri? The last one I couldn't write down in time, so I'm gonna need some help with that. I just got the Grey Wastes. Right?
Also known as Hades or Pluton.
Okay. Is that it on that?
Yes.
Okay. So then I did write it down. Wow. Amazing. Semi-complete notes. So looking at this list, knowing the locations where Morningstar has established himself probably means that these are pretty important places. What that actually means, I don't know. Does that mean that these are the places where the fabric of reality is the thinnest, or where there's the most activity within the game? That's when we go down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out why. But at least we know where.
Wouldn't
What's up, Delk?
I don't know why he would have one in Waterdeep and not one by the temple that we were in. Why wouldn't
He
he
does,
guard?
Arabelle.
Yes. It was right up the road.
Oh, that's right, because we were.
We bypassed that area. Yep.
Yep. That makes more sense now.
The moment of panic from the DM as he thought he might have made a mistake.
So we have these locations, Morningstar's outposts. It seems to cover all of our origin areas except for Breeze. We still don't know where you come from or how you're tied into this at all.
Affirmative.
Which means that you're possibly a more unknown entity than even Morningstar anticipated.
Do you want to go on the unknown list? Oh wait, just kidding. You're an ally.
I suppose that would only be fair.
I do think you should be added, and she'll gesture to the what the fuck to do list and determine Bree's origins.
Have we asked Bree? Bree, do you know where you're from?
I do not have a memory of that.
Dang it.
This might be a long shot, but take out my family locket,
Mm-hmm.
and I first want to show Bree the crest I don't recognize and see if that triggers anything. Do you recognize this crest? I don't know that I ever showed anyone.
Do I recognize the crest?
Make a history check for me.
Can I help? Because I saw the thing too. Only
Yeah.
because I've seen it.
Yeah, make it at advantage.
Oh,
18.
It looks slightly familiar. but not enough for you to pinpoint exactly where you know it from.
And I also show it to Kylie and see if she knows.
I think it's pretty.
Okay.
I'm not sure I've ever seen it before.
Put it away.
That was a good thought, though, Varys. I'm still curious about why it's double-sided like that.
Yes.
But that does bring up a valid question, Varys. Your family ties seem to go to the very origins of this. It was in your family's tomb that the sphinxes are held.
Yes, I know.
How much of your family history do you know?
None. I was orphaned. I was not raised by Selvarans. I was raised by humans.
Maybe if we can go back to Faerun, then we can dig deeper. Because that's where it was, and you're from Morelia, which is not Faerun, and not where the sword thing is, so... yeah. We'll find out.
Yes,
Kylie,
I don't really know where I'm from, do I? I know where I grew up. I don't know if I was taken there from here. Or not from here, from Faerun.
Kylie, would you mind adding Varys's genealogy to the list of what the fuck to do?
Yeah.
Great point.
Cascade's gonna sigh, and she's gonna turn and look at Delg.
Can you make me a perception check, please?
Sure. I mean, my pass is 16. Come on.
I know.
here we go.
I need a regular perception check.
I'm afraid. It's a 6.
It's a 6. Okay.
Yeah, it's not good.
Okay, so you're turning to Telg. What are you doing?
She's just letting out a long sigh, and she's going to look at Delg. If we're all tied to this or not tied to this, I wasn't going to address it in this fashion, but it seems like it's probably best. You want to talk to us a little bit about your potential lycanthropy infection?
What?
I look at Cascade. Why are you bringing that up now?
I mean, it's...
She'll gesture to the board and say, look at these details, right? Bree seems to not be tied at all. You are tied through familial ties. That temple that we went to, my understanding is that they were influenced by werewolves, and Delg, a cleric of Eldath, in a shrine overrun by lycanthropes, seems to have just forgotten to mention until a very dire moment that he is suffering from lycanthropy.
I'm sorry, we mean
Otherwise,
werewolves,
that's the-
right? I just need to know what to write on the board.
Yeah. Delg, I didn't realize that was still a problem. Or
So
even a problem.
Del just kind of like looks back and forth and just kind of, I don't know, I think he just sit there for a second, just kind of like fully slightly confused on like how it actually really has anything to pertain.
and I'll step in because Varys will have an attack of conscience and lift up his sleeve and reveal the bite wound on his arm. This happened
What?
in Barovia. It was during a combat.
It looks like it's like it's a scar, like it's healed,
Right.
but like
right.
it's not gone. Like
Right.
it has been enough time. This
Sure.
should have healed over more, but it's still a wound.
Oh, okay. It is unrelated to our current circumstance, although it is something we need to address. But it has nothing to do with any of this. It was a circumstance in Barovia, completely random.
Oh, you mean like revenants who seemingly appeared on my home plane from Barovia? That kind of unrelated?
It's not related. It's related to us. It's not related to our current situation. It's a circumstance of our time in Barovia.
Varys and Cascade, as this conversation starts, you notice that Delg's sword is unsheathed. It's perfectly normal, like it's just sitting there, but it's unsheathed.
He's not holding it. It's just on the
Delg,
table
are you still holding it?
Yeah, I wouldn't have let go of it.
Yeah, so it's just kind of like dangling beside him.
Wayfinder or Luxor?
Delg?
I feel like we know which one.
Wayfinder. What do you think? I was just looking around, just like,
What are you doing, Del?
He would put the sword back in, or put the sword away, and just, I was testing things.
Are you gonna share with us?
Yeah.
what
I
you
didn't
were
get
testing?
any. There was nothing. Like, I wanted to know if something happened, and
If what happened, Del?
Yes, Del. I'll remind you, you're not from Barovia. Please be forthcoming with information.
I was recently from Barovia, though.
No.
We're unlucky.
I'm
visitors.
curious on the actual powers of the swords. Each sword has its own powers, and I believe the swords have even more powers that we don't know. And while we're sitting here talking, seemed a pretty safe spot. Figured I'd just see if I can study it and figure out if anything else comes up. See if it's anything more useful.
Did anything come from that at all?
What DM'd you?
No. I'm talking to Del.
Sorry.
Not really. I mean, there was a slight reaction and then gone.
Interesting.
Delg,
What?
in this moment, where we are literally taking every single puzzle piece out of our pockets and putting them before everyone, leaving everything bare.
Okay.
No, hold on. No, because I literally just took a puzzle piece out of my pockets and put it out in front of you guys. And then I put it back
What did
in.
you ask it, Delg?
I
What
didn't
did you
ask
ask it?
I didn't ask it a single question.
Then what were you testing, Delg?
Its reaction to the other sword.
And it did nothing. No vibrations, no resonance, no.
Our swords did vibrate a bit, okay?
Look at, we touched the tips, it tingled, and then it went away.
We got them close. They vibrated, and then stopped. The only other thing I can think of is to see if we get the swords close to the other sword, and see if it does it more or not. If everyone's
Bears,
okay with
we
that,
want to pull your sword out and have a three-way tip touch.
I'm not.
that is
taking
exactly
that thing
what
out.
I'm going for right now.
We're
Well,
not taking that sword out of its sheath. I'm sorry, we're not.
I mean, if it's already attuned to you, it's attuned to you.
It's
No.
not.
No.
It's not attuned to me. And
Do you
I'm
not remember sitting there looking like a
taking
dum-dum
it
not
out.
doing anything when we're fighting Dorian? That's what it did to you. That's what it will do to everybody.
But there's nothing saying it wouldn't do literally nothing if it's not attuned to that person.
Yes, Kylie.
And there's not a safer place to do it than our area.
Yeah, that. If there is an interaction, don't you think it might be nice to know what it is in a safe place?
Yes, I don't have a problem with learning more about these weapons.
So can you
Just want-
unsheath the sword, please? Or do you want me to do
Well,
both?
let's be safe
No,
about it.
It is
Hope,
extremely dangerous.
Hope, or Delg, do you have any magic that might bolster someone's spirit a bit, make it so they are more likely to withstand the effects of the sword?
Let me think. Maybe not right now.
I don't know, something that might give advantage on wisdom saving throws.
I mean, other than the fact that I'm proficient in it.
You're right. Like
Yeah.
there's
Aid, I think.
Sure.
I don't.
Oh no, I have aid. Yeah, we good.
I don't know if aid does that
Listen.
or.
I can't control what you all do, but I highly object to doing anything with that sword.
I want to
If-
grab
if-
I want to grab 2 swords at the same time.
And take Del's.
Can I
Which two?
help you really quick? Buddy?
Well, the one's in a bag, so he can't really just.
yeah, the ones stashed away, like it's not out and
Yeah.
about.
Del,
We've got to
can
convince.
Can I hold your sword?
At least he's asking for consent. This is nice.
Yes.
Wait.
So, with the information I know about my sword, would I think that it would be an okay idea to give it to somebody else?
Well, I mean, you don't know what's gonna happen.
No, but I mean that's why I said with the knowledge I know. I don't know what's gonna. Is it just gonna come back to me? Will it just not? Because, I mean, I watched it get thrown at Rognus and just caught, and Rognus doesn't use swords that well, and he just caught it like it was nothing. Like, so that's. I mean, I don't care. I'm gonna take the sword and I'm just gonna set it down on the table in front of me.
There's a sword
then-
sitting on a table in front of you.
Yeah, the Wayfinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm. Go ahead.
All right, I want to grab both and just see what happens.
So you're just grabbing the 2 swords.
Sight blinder in my right hand, and Wayfinder in my left.
Then you're just grabbing them.
For
That's
this
the
for
tips.
this exact second, yes.
You are dual wielding very light star metal swords.
And I'm not no feels, no nothing.
There is a like the same kind of thrum of energy you felt whenever Wayfinder came close to the sword, to Sightblinder. You feel that, but it's a little bit more in your body as you're holding both of them.
Delg, are you thinking what I'm thinking at all? I'm just leaving
Probably
it there.
not. No. I pull my shield out and kind of tuck behind it in the chair.
Fair.
All right, guys. So what I'm thinking is, what if I just press them together?
Yeah. I mean, what's the worst that could happen?
Oh, there it is.
I'm gonna.
Um,
I'm gonna.
Oh, hold
wait,
on
no,
a second.
oh,
Wait.
oh,
Wait.
Okay. Okay.
What does this do? It's for spells.
What are you trying to do?
Protect us.
Okay. Who's messing around with stuff?
Benjor.
Just Fenjor. Okay. I'm going to cast Aid at 7th level on Varys, Fenjor, and Delg, and you each get 30 temporary hit points for the next 8 hours.
There's more to Aid than that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's more to that. Hang on. Here, let me do the... I don't know why I didn't do that. Spell bolsters your allies with toughness and resolve. Each target It's hit point maximum and current hit points increased by 5 per the spell level. That's all it is.
Maximum
Oh, so-
though too.
So
Yeah.
35. So our max goes up.
It's
They're not
30.
they're not temporary hit points. It's our max.
Oh,
our
sorry.
Hit point max.
I always get those mixed up. Yes.
Okay, so 35.
It's 30. Sorry.
Oh, you said 5 per spell level, right? You cast a 7th.
Right, but it's a second level,
The
so it only
second
goes
level
up
spell.
by.
Okay. Got it. 30. All right.
Yeah. There you go. Let's see what can I do?
Wait, that didn't work.
So as are you pushing them
there we go.
together, or no? Still, Vendor.
If the party is ready, yes. Is everyone's okay with this now?
Go ahead.
All right, I'm gonna press them together and see what happens.
The energy that you feel vibrating and thrumming through the swords in your arms seems to intensify as they touch together, but nothing else.
Okay, I'm gonna communicate to the party and then put Wayfinder down and sheath my sword as well.
There is a little, as you set Wayfinder down, Delg, as you're looking at it, you see that it should have been set down on the table, like, straight. And as Fendra let go, it kind of, like, rotated slightly towards him.
As in, like, the hilt? Or...
As in the point.
Oh, okay.
Like, there was some sort of residual energy that was kind of pulling it towards
Right.
Fendra.
I'd pick Wayfinder back up and resheath it.
Okay. So basically, all you've discovered is you have 2 vibrators that use each other as a battery.
Yes. Potentially 3, but one of us just shy, so it's okay.
I don't know if this will do anything, but I want to. Never mind. No, never mind. Well, that was my bright idea. Anybody else got any ideas?
As people are figuring this out, Hope will grab Varys's arm where he like revealed the now relatively healed wound, and she'll just kind of lean over and say, "We're gonna talk about that later, okay?"
Fair enough. So, we have lists. What's the priority?
Wait for Max to get here.
Are those the only locations, though? Like, you've mentioned other places.
We have Aldenok's egg, the abyss in general that we should probably investigate. The Mistress of Cards, wherever she was trying to reach, or
Said she was going back for a good meal.
she was pushed back. She didn't choose to be there.
Right, but she said that she was heading back to the Planeswalker Guild to get a good meal.
Correct.
So she may be trying to climb again.
Didn't we, like, pay some money for some information last time from this place? From, like, the Hall of Records or whatever?
Mm-hmm. You haven't gotten an answer
yes.
yet.
Okay.
We're waiting.
Nor have you gone to check.
Right.
It's also been 0.3 seconds.
Yeah,
since then,
it's the same day.
Okay.
Yeah, but you did pay a lot, so
Yes.
True.
you went with the expedited
10
delivery.
times the 10 times the standard.
Right, so we're...
Got Hall of Records Prime. Should be same day.
So what about So, you've got the places where you know that Morningstar has a location.
We should talk. Sorry, apologies, Kylie. My brain. Artemis, there were several places that Artemis were trying to go in order to get more answers for his organization. One of which was the City of Shade. I'm trying to find, it's a little difficult to cross-reference. But there were a few things. Tilverton he wanted to avoid, but there was a device there, the Mythalar device, that was tapping into the weave. He was curious about that. He wanted to visit the Draco Lich. He wanted to go to the City of Shade. There was somewhere else, I swear.
I thought those were the only three, but I could be wrong.
Well, unless you're counting Tilverton, that's only two.
No, the Draco Lich, the City of Shade, and is Tilverton the City of Shade? Is it the same place?
No, they're different places.
Yeah, so the Draco Lich, City of Shade, and Tilverton Scar. That's three places.
You've mentioned this Planewalkers Guild a couple times.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. You're imagining that.
Out of character, am I?
No.
Okay.
We're not supposed to talk about Fight Club.
Where are they located? Is that an important location for you, or no?
They're located nowhere.
All right, keep your secrets.
I mean,
yes,
it's not really.
The Nowhere Inn. What's the name of the actual settlement?
That's.
Is it just the Nowhere Inn?
It's the Nowhere Inn.
Yeah, it's just the Nowhere Inn.
Oh God, who actually got this information? I feel like this was mentioned, so I am gonna help you guys out. Anyone who did get a membership in the Planewalkers Guild can make a history check for me now.
19.
17.
26.
Yeah, there you go.
Hope, you're the only one that remembers this.
Oh shit. Okay.
There was I believe, if I'm wrong, that this didn't happen.
Sorry, that was accident.
Retcon that it did. You heard them talking about them being kind of a nomadic people that had been moving around and had finally settled down in this area. But someone did mention, or should have, and the DM fucked up, that their original headquarters was in Sigil, the City of Doors.
Oh, I feel like that was mentioned, but
It was.
we were also just like, the fuck is Sigil? Who cares?
So they're technically from here.
Which makes sense considering all of the portals and stuff.
Look, they just went into that middle of Sigil, and that's where they're at now. And they're stuck.
Then why wouldn't Kylie have heard of them?
So,
hey, Kylie,
out of character, that's a really good question.
Kylie, how have you never heard of them?
Heard of the Planewalkers Guild?
Yeah, they're from here.
Maybe they weren't called the Planewalkers Guild.
That's a good point, Delk. Yeah, maybe they had a different name, but they were from here and then settled elsewhere.
Has there been a clan established that recently is not established in the city anymore? Or a faction?
No, factions have been pretty static for a long time.
All right.
Yeah, I've never heard of Planewalkers Guild.
Right, but has there been a faction that was established in the city that is no longer established here anymore, no matter how long?
Not that I know of.
All right.
Kylie, I have an interesting question for you, and you may not be able to answer because of the question.
Oh, just one?
I mean several, but this one in particular is kind
Okay.
of on the tippy tip of the brain here. In relation to us knowing about something that used to be established here and no longer is that a trend with Sigil where there are things that are from here that leave and then everyone forgets about?
I mean,
Yeah.
how can you
You would
answer that
for-
question?
That's
Yeah.
exactly why I pointed out you may not be able to answer this, but in the event that something like that hypothetically would happen, would the Hall of Information, Hall of Records keep that?
Kylie looks suspiciously at her tea and pushes it away.
What, the tea's not good?
I don't know what you put in that, but I feel like I'm high right now.
I don't know what that is.
No?
Okay.
I mean, my brain hurts trying to think through the logic weave that you just wove.
Yeah, mine too. It was a weird question. I just kind of had to get it out there, otherwise it was going to drive me insane. At least
But
we're insane
it's-
together. That's
It's
nice.
a good question because if this situation has been spoken of before, but everybody goes, well, that can't happen because they forgot about it. But it's like one of those in the back of your head that someone's mentioned it before a couple of times here and there. Then there's a good chance that that's what happens.
I mean, tell me about the Planewalkers Guild. Maybe it'll jar my memory.
They keep records of all of the planes. They
Okay,
have
we do
different-
that too.
Okay, great. They have different levels of membership within the guild, depending on being able to retrieve new information and catalog new places that haven't been discovered yet.
Sounds
As,
like
like-
a faction, yeah.
Okay.
It's basically
They
what
have
they do.
membership dues.
Also
We got-
faction.
These cool badges from them.
Also faction.
Okay, so that's leading me to believe that this was a faction that is no longer here.
You know, maybe they got kicked
So-
out because the badges create portals and it's against the rules here, so they had to find a spot that they could do that at.
That's another question. How long has that rule been in effect of not being able to teleport in and out of Sigil? Or-
As far as I know, since Sigil was invented.
How long have you been here?
That's another good question. Looks up information.
About 35 years?
How long has
Hey.
Stan been here?
Longer than that.
How old are you?
35.
I'm sorry, that's a.
Are you,
Hey, I am too.
are you,
When's your birthday?
It's in a week.
Okay. I don't know what day it is anymore, so I can't tell you when mine is.
I have a feeling your days and my days are different.
Probably, but that's still kind of cool, though, right? Anyway, that's irrelevant. Anyway, Playwalkers Guild.
Is she
They're
always
like
this
it.
adorable?
Yes.
Are we
That's
still answering
a
the
fun
Planewalkers
observation.
Guild question?
Yes.
They're a collection, well, a guild, and it seemed to me, while they may have other goals, that they simply are trying to map out all planes. They seek information. They have a huge library,
aren't they trying to attempt to map out the endless stair? Well,
an infinite staircase.
infinite
Yes.
staircase,
Yeah.
which was
Right.
slightly mentioned in talk about the big spire in the middle of the Outlands,
Oh yeah, isn't that the?
which is
Staircase?
interesting.
It's similar to.
It's
I
totally
thought,
bigger on the
so-
inside, obviously.
Yeah, I think I don't
Like the
think
house.
it's the same
Like
thing,
the
right?
house.
I think it was similar to that, but maybe it's the same. I don't know. Does that ring any bells?
No. She rolled in that one. I'm sorry.
You say
I mean,
that.
It
Time
doesn't
out.
surprise me, but
What timeout do you need? Delg, I am honoring your timeout.
I have a luck sword. I wanted to re-roll. Is that better?
What was the question again, Ferris? I zoned out. I was dissociated.
So I described my understanding of the Planewalkers Guild, and I asked if it rang any bells.
Maybe? From
It's better
like
than I know.
long ago.
Yeah, it seems like they've been around for quite a while.
There's I mean, among the kind of, well, among the touts that work for each of the factions, there's this, you know, it's like a conspiracy theory kind of thing, that like there are things that predate the factions, which is absurd. But there's one that kind of sounds like what you're talking about, that we've talked about. I mean, we're talking like 1,000 years ago at least.
I think that probably tracks.
I mean, it does take a minute to walk the staircase.
Yeah.
Great. So are we done asking me questions? What are we doing from here?
Yes, that was what I was
Looks
trying
at
to
the
get.
list.
Priorities of tasks, places to visit.
I think it would be helpful to take our what the fuck to do list, assign locations to them, and break them down in chapters, groups, if you will. That way we can know when we go somewhere what
Right.
exactly we're there to determine and find.
Kind of like how we have
these-
to go back to the egg.
Right.
I know
So
we didn't
let's-
know that we had to go back there, but we don't want to be
Right.
jumping back and forth.
I'm not looking forward to that.
Let's
No.
just make it a one-time trip, right?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Agreed.
You know, you say that, but nothing's ever that easy. On that what the fuck to do list, you need to add the random shit that pops up in the middle of us doing what the fuck we're doing.
That
I
never happens.
understand.
I don't know what you mean, Toad. Squirrel.
At least
Okay.
it's helpful, squirrel.
So let's start with Morningstar's outposts. What do we need to accomplish in Waterdeep? It
Nothing.
used to be that was where my mother was. There's
Mhm.
not really, she doesn't seem to be there now. However, outside of Waterdeep, there were the surgeons for Mist's condition. And also,
Ragnos is there with the sword.
Yep. There's a sword there. So
Ragnos has a sword.
let's go by plane, right? We're going by plane.
Yep, so we're starting with Faerun,
on
starting
this
with
plane,
Waterdeep.
or on Faerun. Yep.
Starting with Waterdeep. Let's do, because if we can coordinate
Okay.
them with Morningstar's outposts. If there's
Yep.
additional locations in that plane, we can do that. But if we
Yep.
do outposts, tie it to that, and then anything
Okay.
else.
So we have Waterdeep and Aravel.
Yeah, so for Waterdeep, we have the surgeons that are outside of Waterdeep that could help with Mist's condition. We have Ragnos having a sword. There's information on Hope's village.
Cascade.
Yeah,
Can you make a history check for me, please?
I surely can. The 27, my dude.
Yeah. So, when you say outside Waterdeep,
Right, it's a ways, right? It's the Underdark, right?
it's very far outside of Waterdeep. I mean, we're talking like super far north.
Right, but and correct me
Yep.
if I'm wrong, GM, I was told that if we got to Waterdeep that there was a connection to get us there more quickly.
Yeah. Fair.
I
wanted to be sure that the player wasn't confusing that we're talking about Menzo
Yeah.
Baranazan, which is way the fuck away from
Yeah. Waterdeep was
Got it.
the way to get to there.
Just make it sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I'm
Nice.
just Underdark, real far from Waterdeep.
All right. Well, also on Faerun is Arabelle and the City of Shade.
Right. So timeouts. We've got.
But we
Let
don't.
me swap back.
We need to go to the City of Shade.
Yes, I
We
think
already have the sword from there, and the person who is wielding it is wielding it.
But there was a reason that Artemis was going to there. Like,
Okay.
here, one
Okay.
second. So
Yep.
Hope's Village. Anything else in Waterdeep? We're good. Okay, Arabelle. We were going there to petition the Council of Wizards or Mages for Mists. Is there any other reason that we wanted to be in Arabelle?
The sword, Town Saver. Angelo Morningstar.
Can I quickly look at what Delg is doing right now? I see him smiling, so I'm just assuming.
Okay. So I will I need clarification on one thing, so hang on.
Okay. Just gonna chill and eat my bacon.
There's also someone else.
Jealous, Delg?
too.
I got bacon. Are you?
Are you okay? Now hold on. Are you comfortable now that this is completely out in the open? Are you comfortable with just talking out in the open about my question?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So
I didn't want to interrupt.
So you see
Fair.
Delg stand up and take the sword out, and it just starts kind of moving in various directions. The answer to your first question, as you asked the first one, in your Spitfire round of questions, points toward the door. The second question points toward Bree. The third question points toward Kylie. The fourth question, I need to know your intent behind that before I can answer it. Like all?
I mean, I don't know what it is, so I just know there's more.
Okay.
So technically,
Points
yes.
toward Fenjor, and then it points toward you. You get the sense from Ascension Sword that it's telling you, you know I can't answer that.
Be careful with that thing, Doug. Put your eye out.
It's not the sword I'm used to. I'm just trying to figure out. It's quite interesting because Kylie, you're considered the most dangerous thing to us right now.
I'm sorry, what?
Hey, you take it up with the sword.
Give it to me. I'll take it up with the sword.